Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a veritable plethora of films to tell you about tonight, including some independents, some thrillers, dinosaur movies, and without question, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. All that and a whole lot more coming up. Plus, I got to tell you that the folks at Kettle Whistle Radio asked me to come back onto their show, and we just last night we finished up another episode for them. So yours truly will be on Kettle Whistle Radio once again. I'll run a link up on the Facebook page when post-production is all done. We feature some pretty interesting musical artists on that show. And of course, I'm sitting there talking with David and Sean, and we talk a whole lot about movies, especially the movie The Lighthouse, if you like that one. We went into that pretty well. We have all of that and a whole lot more for you tonight. A cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, and welcome also our sponsors. Of course, New Dimension Comics, who are sponsoring the Three Rivers Comic-Con coming up at the end of May. And we want to welcome back to the fold the House of Feruza Barbershop. Good old Sam and the guys are back with us, and we're happy to have them along. You know, sometimes movies are mislabeled. Exit Zero is one of those movies that came out as a horror film. And, you know, in dream sequences, there are some horror things going on. But basically, this movie is really more of a thriller. It's all about a couple who are trying to renew, if you will, their passion by having a romantic weekend. They go back to one of the husband's old haunts, and guess what? Haunting him there are memories that he had suppressed an awful long time ago, and that escape amorous weekend turns out to be one of chills in thrills. This was actually a pretty decent movie to watch. It's one of those movies that the ending is not conclusive. So it kind of leaves you hanging, and you can interpret the ending whichever way you want. There are a lot of people that don't like that. But in this movie, I thought it worked. Exit Zero. Here's a look.
Are you checking in?
Yes, we are indeed. I used to come here when I was a kid.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that you miss being down here.
We're staying at the Doctor's Inn.
It's a lovely place, but it certainly has a history.
What kind of history? I'm Billy from down the hall.
Hey, Billy from down the hall.
Has anything ever happened in the hotel where I'm staying at?
I'm sure a lot of things have happened. It's over 150 years old.
What's going on in that head of yours?
You feel a little weird.
Detective, what can I help you with?
Well, I found something that's very disturbing.
Tell me exactly what was on this tape.
Everything all right out there?
There have been a few murders over the years.
I saw the tape. I saw it with my own eyes. Why would I make it up?
I just want you to open up to me.
They're gonna come and murder us. This is what they do. They pinpoint the couple that comes around this time of the year in the off season, and they kill them.
Where are you going with this, Billy?
Now, if I hear that a movie is coming out and it's going to have dinosaurs in it, I'm there. I just love dinosaur movies, so I want to go. So when Jurassic Thunder came out, I thought, well, this could be kind of interesting. I knew we were going to get new age dinosaurs. These were going to be dinosaurs interacting with people and what have you, but that's okay. Hey, a few years back, you remember Cowboys and Dinosaurs? I love that movie. It was great. Yeah, coming out of the mine and stuff. So I thought this would be something. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this movie, this was, I tell you what, I've had student productions that looked a hell of a lot better than this movie did. I don't know what went wrong here. Now, from the get-go, you can tell they're playing this for camps. They're trying to be very, very funny in this, and they're literally ripping off scenes from Top Gun, from Tropic Thunder, from Alien, from obviously Jurassic Park. There's about 6 different movies that they're ripping scenes off from, and they're trying to play it for laughs, but wow, the dialogue, the editing on this is terrible. I mean, there is no cohesive glue that holds the sequences together, and the special effects, I know, all the pros are going to start screaming and yelling, but I'm telling you, they did this on Adobe Premiere, and they brag about it in the end credits. And, you know, Dave and I were talking off camera, and we both said that Adobe Premiere is kind of clunky. I think that's the term we used, wasn't it, Dave? Clunky, you know. And it shows in this. They can't get the matting right. I mean, everything is just like, oh, my God, what did they do here? It's, very disappointing. I mean, it's just not worth. I guess maybe if you think you've had 3 drinks, but you've actually had 6, then you might watch this and get a few chuckles out of it. Otherwise, oh my God, it's a dumpster fire. Here's a look at Jurassic Thunder.
We're now at DEFCON 3, Colonel.
There's a virus. It's turning all humans to something on imagination.
We're seeing a foreshadow of human extinction. But we may have a strategic military option. Think of a gun on its head. Let's prep, load, send them out.
All systems green. Impact in 4, 3, 2, 1. You've used these before, right?
No. First time.
Sir, we have a situation. We regret to inform you that the weapons are great piles of crap.
They're not crap. You're crap.
You can't create a species and expect it not to spread.
Government officials have urged that all citizens evacuate.
Eventually, it's gonna bite you in the ass. Oh, crap. This ain't no freaking game show, man. You're fired.
You better pray to God that when this war is over, we're all dead.
Our best option is to destroy them all.
So much potential. So much waste. Hey, I know you're sitting back at home and you're going, you know, that Fior, he looks awfully chic, suave, and debonair. You better believe it, because we're back at House of Fairuza. Sam does a really nice job there, and you two guys can look this dashing for your lady. Give Sam a call down there. Stop up and talk to him. He's got the lounge down there too. We'll talk about that on future episodes. But I think he's one of the best barbers in town. And you know what I like about it? It's actually a barber shop. You know, it's not a beauty salon. So you don't have to go in there and get your hair cut while there's other people under hair dryers and chemicals with the hair and all that. It's a good old-fashioned barber shop. I like that kind of thing. You go in there, all kind of guys. You just talk, and it's good. It's a good time. House of Fairuza, they're down there on South Park Road. Stop in. They're sponsor for the show. They help me look as good as this. And if you're sitting there going, well, that ain't too good, you should see me without so what do you do when you got a whole bunch of emeralds and you're trying to get over the border illegally? You have an Emerald Run. That's the name of the movie. You know, I kind of like this one. It's a little independent film, and it has its quirks to it. There's one glaring error in the script that you kind of go, wait a minute, how did this come about? But other than that, this movie actually has some pretty decent action to it. And it's all about, this poor guy. He's fallen on some hard times. He's lost his job. He's having a hard time getting a new job. Bills are adding up. You know, all of us have been in that kind of situation once before. So his wife's dad is connected to organized crime, and he decides to go and ask his father-in-law for help. The help includes smuggling a group of emeralds. You know, they're going to go down, take the emeralds for a bunch of money, and then sneak them back over the border and bring them back to the father-in-law. Easy peasy, right? Well, It is until, wow, the Colombians don't show up to make the swap. Instead, Mexicans do. And they ain't supposed to be there. And the Mexicans want everything. They don't want to do a swap. And then these two have to hightail it through the desert. It's a pretty decent flick. Michael Perry shows up in this movie. And I haven't seen him in a while. He's looking actually pretty good. And John Schneider shows up in this too. It's a decent thriller. It's called Emerald Run. Here's a look.
What do you know about emeralds?
These little green rocks are dangerous business.
Get down! Watch your head! Raw, beautiful emeralds.
Okay, but what's that got to do with me? I thought I'd be working for you.
You will. Only not in construction. You will help me get the emeralds across the border.
If the stones are good, we get the emeralds and they get the money, right?
Something is wrong. These men are not Colombian. We're gonna kill John Thomas.
You are in a very difficult situation here. You were set up, my friend.
There's $150,000 cash out there, and all you gotta do is find it.
You've gone through hell out there. As a family, you do what you have to do. What about you, John Thomas? What's in your heart?
How is this my fault?
How is it your fault you don't pray with us? You don't pay attention in church. She looks up to you and you don't give her a proper example.
I could be dying, Dad.
What kind of man are you? If someone held a gun to your head, would you still say that you had found God?
Oh, risen Lord, the way, the truth,
It's not
and
gonna
the
end like
life.
this, John.
Make us faithful to the spirit of your resurrection. Grant that we may be inwardly renewed, dying to ourselves, so that you may live in us.
Let's take a couple of really good things and mix them all together. How about a serial killer, zombies, and sunspots? That's the whole premise behind a Wakefield Project. What we have here, we have a town that was terrorized by a mass serial killer. His name was Nathan Cross, and it's played by Rob Archer. Rob Archer's a big boy, okay? He can scare you pretty good just alone, okay? He goes on this mass killing spree, and they catch him, they kill him, everything's happy, the town is settling down. But suddenly, when there happens to be sunspots and sun flares, wow, he comes back to life, and so do all of his victims. And I'm not sure why, but his victims have suddenly decided to become murderers also. I guess, I don't know, some trauma and death or something. Anyway, that's the story behind A Wakefield Project. Sunspots and zombies. There are two leads in this, Dennis Andres and Anthony Blues. And I got to tell you, these two guys carry the movie. They're like the buddy bros that kind of help each other out through this spot. And it was fun watching them interact, and I think it probably held the flick together. As horror films go, it's there, okay? If there's nothing else in your one horror, that might not be a bad one to do. A Wakefield Project, zombies and sunspots. Here you go.
Maybe we made a mistake coming out here. I was tired of the city anyway. I like it here.
Wow, so you guys bought the old inn. That place has been empty for as long as I can remember. You know, people say it's haunted.
How much do you know about the history of this town?
In 2004, Nathan Cross took his vengeance out on 7 innocent women.
He was convicted and he was put to death. Now,
He's come back to claim his last victim.
Apparently this place is infamous in these parts. The Wakefield murders? We're sitting on a gold mine.
You hired a clairvoyant? Everything she says is based on scientific fact. We need your help.
solar flares release a massive energy into the universe. The solar flare changed the frequency between the living and the dead. I saw him, and he's coming back here, I'm sure of it.
You made me do this.
We gotta go right now.
I can't leave her.
She's gone, Eric.
Hey, I want to mention the Three Rivers Comic-Con coming up. This year it's going to be held down at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. That's a pretty big venue. Talking with Todd and John, and they are going to be able to fill that place. It's going to be pretty impressive down on the floor. It's May 30th and May 31st. I will be there walking around. I hope to see a lot of you. If you do see me, come on up and say hello. You know, I have a blast at this place. I really do. And there's always something there. You know, I'm a big Godzilla fan. I guess everybody pretty much knows that already. And even Dave has contributed in the past to my considerable Godzilla collection. But to give you an idea, you guys have probably seen this. This is a series of comics. This is Godzilla in Hell. Okay? This is pretty brutal stuff here as far as the drawings and everything are concerned. Pretty wicked, pretty nasty stuff going on here. Anyway, the guy that drew this was there. So I got to talk to him, got to pick up the series and see where he was going with it and chit-chat. And naturally, all the artists there are more than happy to sign it for you. So, you know, I mean, he signed it and everything. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff all the way around. There are a ton of vendors down there and artists who demonstrate things. I have always had a very good time there. And I've always spent a lot more money than I originally intended to. But it's good stuff down there. May 30th, May 31st at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. We will have Todd and John on the show to talk more about it. And, of course, their famous home-brewed beer for the occasion. We'll discuss that as well. Some years ago, it might be a decade or so ago, Woody Allen put together a movie called The Purple Rose of Cairo. And everything was great in it except he put himself in it. And as soon as he did that, he ruined the entire movie. That's the same thing that kind of happens with this one. It's called Bloodhound. And this movie is actually a decent flick. It's kind of a detective noir type film. That's at least the way that it's set up. But I got to tell you, this is one time being an indie film hurt. The technical crew and even the cast are not quite up to snuff to pull this one off. And if they were of a little bit higher range and caliber, I think this would have been a much better movie. It's called Bloodhound.
My name's Abel Walker. I'm a private investigator.
Why are you recording me?
I record all my cases in case of illegal ramifications such as this if you keep acting aggressive.
I need to find Maria, my ex-wife. So I'm not hiring you because I want her back. I'm just afraid she's gone too far with this revenge thing and it's gotten into something bad.
What the hell is this? Turn the camera off.
Why?
Because I need to do something we can't have evidence of. This is Abel Walker for case number 025. My associate Jim and I had an encounter with the men whom I believe have Maria Augustine. These men are dangerous.
We go in there fast and silent, like a SWAT team.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. He's the one who hired us, you know? But I don't think he's telling us all the truth. We're gonna have to do this alone. Drop the knife. It's over.
I would do anything for Maria.
You sure we're not pushing it here?
There's no rules when it comes to this kind of thing.
Let's watch that back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I told you at the beginning of the show that I've seen one of the probably worst pictures I've ever seen. And I hate to end the show on that kind of a downer note, but this is really a caveat to anyone who enjoys films out there. The name of the film is Swallow. And I have to tell you that, earlier I talked about Jurassic Thunder, and I talked about how it was campy and corny, and the editing was bad, and the special effects were terrible. It's not that type of bad. I mean, Swallow is put together well. It has a strong cast, and it has people behind the camera that know what they're doing, and they've put together a fairly decent film. The reason it's one of the worst is because it delivers a message that I can only think comes from a very sick and demented mind. And why you would want to put that kind of a message out there is far beyond me. They have promotional materials for it that label this film as a radical feminist thriller. I hope to God it's not, because we're all in trouble if it is. I got a lot to say about this on the YouTube channel. We're going to run the URL up there for you. It's more of a rant than it is a review. This movie, after I watched it, really pushed the wrong buttons on me all the way around, and you can check it out on the YouTube channel, and I'll tell you about it. I did a little report card on it, but I don't think as cruel as I was in the report card, I don't think it gives it as much justice. If I can just summarize this whole thing up, the basic theme behind this movie, which had possibilities if they had gone in different directions at one point or another. But the basic theme of this movie is that in order to become empowered, in order to be a strong and independent woman, women must eliminate men from their lives. Okay? Radical? Okay, sure. But in this movie, that includes the lead character aborting her unborn baby boy. It's just nonsensical. After she does the abortion, it's one of those chemical abortions. It's just a sickening scene. She goes into a public bathroom to do this, and once she's done, all her problems are alleviated. She comes out of the bathroom, and she is this. She's Wonder Woman. She's amazing because she has completely washed men out of her life, and the ending scene is set up to encourage other women to do so. Absolutely horrible message. I can't understand. I mean, it's almost Hitler-esque, okay, in its portrayal of humankind, and it's just not worth it. Here's a look at the movie.
Do I make you happy?
I'm the happiest man in the whole world.
I feel so lucky. You're not mad at me?
Mom, we're pregnant. About what?
I just want to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong.
You couldn't do anything wrong, even if you tried.
So what did you do for money before you met my son?
Retail, mostly.
A lucky break.
I'm just real grateful.
Fake it till you make it. Are you happy? Or are you pretending to be happy?
How does it make you feel when you swallow something?
I just like the textures in my mouth. It made me feel in control.
I'm right here.
I just wanted to make you happy.
You get back here with my kid!
I did something unexpected today.
The movie is Swallow. Trust me, avoid it like the coronavirus. Hey, that is all the time we have for today's show. Coming up, boy, did MGM make a blunder by holding off on Bond? Could have been to the tune of $30 million or more. Let you know about that. Dave Bautista, following in the shoes of The Rock, and he may just surpass him with the releases he has coming out. There's strange things going on in the Universal Monster. Yeah, James Wan has thrown his hat into the ring. That could only be a good thing. And superhero movies are getting streamed. We'll have all that and a whole lot more for you on the next edition. But as for tonight, now that you have learned what you have learned, class is dismissed.